everybody, I'm here to read you another book called A Piglet Named Mercy. And this was given to me by a special student named Jack. Mr. Watson and Mrs. Watson lived in a house on Deckawoo Drive. Deckawoo Drive was an ordinary street in an ordinary town. Ordinary means just the same, nothing different, nothing big, just like a regular old town. Mr. and Mrs. Watson were ordinary people who did ordinary things in ordinary ways. They cut the grass, they cleaned the house, they even cleaned the car just like regular people. One day, Mrs. Watson, who said to Mr. Watson, "I wonder if we aren't just the tiniest bit too predictable." "Predictable? Us?" said Mr. Watson. "Surely not. Predictable means you always do the same thing." "It's just that sometimes I wish something different would happen to us," said Mrs. Watson. "Things are just fine the way they are," said Mr. Watson. But then something different did happen. A pig fell out of the pig trunk. Someone very small and not ordinary at all found her way to the Watsons' house on Deckawoo Drive. Mr. Watson made the discovery when he opened the door for the morning paper. "Mrs. Watson," he called, "come see." "Oh, the little dear," said Mrs. Watson. "Oink," said the piglet. "I think she's hungry," said Mr. Watson. "Is that a pig?" said Eugenia Lincoln. Eugenia Lincoln lived next door, and she did not approve of surprises or pigs. "It is," said Mrs. Watson. "Can you believe our luck?" "Don't be ridiculous," said Eugenia Lincoln. "A pig is not lucky at all." "Do you think perhaps the piglet would like a bottle of warm milk?" said Baby Lincoln. Baby was Eugene's younger sister, and she was always fond of surprises and piglets. Mr. Watson scratched his head. "A bottle of milk? I don't know. This is all so unpredictable." "Leave it to me," said Baby Lincoln. "Oink," said the piglet again. Mrs. Watson picked up her piglet and took her inside. She wrapped her in a blanket. "Have you ever seen anyone so darling?" she said. "Never," said Mr. Watson. "Here is the warm milk," said Baby Lincoln. "I have it right here." Eugenia said, "This is absurd." That means crazy. A piglet did not think it was absurd at all. She drank the entire bottle. And then she burped. And then she oinked. And went looking for more. "Oh my goodness," said Mr. Watson. "Watch out," said Eugenia. "She seems to like toast very much," said Baby. "Oh, the darling thing," said Mrs. Watson. "Mr. Watson," said Mrs. Watson, "perhaps you could hold her for a bit?" "Certainly," said Mr. Watson. He took the piglet in his arms. He rocked her and hummed. "How extraordinary," said Mr. Watson. She is a porcelain wonder. That means she's a wonder. That means she's a surprise, and she's cute, and she's just lovely. The piglet is a wish come true, said Mrs. Watson. What a mercy she is, said Baby. There you go, said Mr. Watson. We'll call her Mercy. She's not a mercy, said Eugene. She's a pig. Oink, oink, said the piglet. You cannot name a pig Mercy, shouted Eugenia. But they did name her Pig. She was an entirely unpredictable, and she was not ordinary, and she was very, very loved. The end. And that is the story of a pig named Mercy.